What's going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is Collateral Cinema.
Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast, so whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it. Happy spooky season. This is actually the second episode of our spooky season, and also the second episode of season 7 of Collateral Cinema. It's great to be here, right, guys?
Yes, it is.
Oh, definitely.
Great to be back.
Especially in the spooky season, our favorite time of the year, you know. I mean, this is whenever we start our season, so it's always good. But definitely, I love Halloween, and this movie is just dripping with Halloween, right?
Yes, it is. This is a very Halloween movie. Perhaps more Halloween than Halloween.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's got like 4 or 5 stories in it, so yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, it's a movie that's very much about Halloween. It's actually one of the few horror slasher movies that I've seen that's strictly about the holiday. Like Michael Myers just happens to kill on Halloween, right? But like, it's not really about Halloween. So this is one of the only examples I know that truly encompasses that.
Yeah, and not only that, but also the fact that it's an anthology movie really kind of helps it kind of become a bit endearing, because I mean, you have 4 stories here. They all intertwine at various intervals, especially if you really look closely. And I mean, it also has some very, very recognizable characters here, namely Sam, or Sawane, the little pumpkin dude.
Yeah, so he's actually kind of one of those like horror movie villains that shows up that's instantly iconic. Like, okay, this is a good horror franchise mascot. Although, this is just the one movie, not a franchise. But there's definitely like the potential there. Although, I mean, this came out in 2007. So I don't expect anything, else to pop up, sequel or otherwise. But a pretty iconic character nonetheless.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, even recently, we've had some new horror icons kind of come into, like, take shape and whatnot. Like Art the Clown from Terrifier,
yeah.
or Pearl from the movie Pearl, or like even a few years ago, like the Babadook and everything. It's like, I mean, there's a lot of great iconic characters, but Sam to me is next to Michael Myers, he's just so synonymous with the holiday, and what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be kind of a guardian spirit of Halloween, and that's and he's also kind of in the same tradition of like the Crypt Keeper or the one ghost dude from Creepshow, in that you have to have that one supernatural entity to kind of tie these stories together.
Yeah, I think you really do. I mean, and Sam is the one persistent thing in all of them. I mean, like you said, they do all sort of overlap in different ways, but the one consistent element is Sam in all of these stories. And sometimes he takes place in the terror, and other times he's just there, just kind of watching, observing. And apparently he's got a shtick for the whole, following Halloween traditions thing. Like,
He just likes to watch you guys.
he just likes to watch you guys.
He likes to watch all the Halloween fun time.
Yeah, he looks more like a watcher.
Yeah, there's
anyway.
lots of Halloween. Oh, yeah, right.
But God forbid, it's one thing if you're, the bus driver that drove a bunch of mentally disturbed kids off of a cliff, but God forbid you put out a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween.
Well, that's something that goes all the way back to Samhain and the Celtic origins of Halloween. I mean, jack-o'-lanterns were totems that were meant to ward off evil spirits and whatnot. So yeah, it would track that. I mean, just extinguishing a jack-o'-lantern means that you're pretty much inviting all these spirits in and everything. So yeah, I mean, that's the other interesting thing about this movie is that it still kind of takes old school Halloween traditions into consideration and really kind of injects them into the background of these stories and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few twists actually in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got more
lots and
twists
lots
than,
of twists.
It's got more twists than Shutter Island.
The Shutter Island, or like what's another good twist? This, what a twist! Sixth Sense or something like that, or just Shyamalan Ding Dong and all that
twist.
shit.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan.
But Robert, this was a movie that you chose for the podcast, specifically for Halloween. Like, what is your experience with this movie? Like, when did you first see it, and what did you first think of it?
I'm pretty sure I saw it like right when it came out, like in 2007. My dad had brought it to me, and he was like, dude, have you seen this movie? And so we put it on, and then it's just, watching all four stories just play out. And then it's like the story that really got me was, the bus full of kids, and the bus driver driving them off the cliff, I don't know. That was pretty horrible.
Oh, yeah, that was
town
awful,
just how the whole town just got together, dude, and they decided to do that,
Yeah, I mean, back in the 50s, that was a very common thing. It was like, I mean, just look up what they did to Mary Kennedy. What the Kennedys did to her. Like, they pretty much just threw her away and gave her a lobotomy and whatnot. And but
shit.
that was something that a lot of parents of differently abled kids, they just kind of threw them into homes and just forgot about them.
Like stopping school buses on a railroad track.
Yeah, something like that.
Ghost tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that Little Red Riding Hood story is okay too, though.
Yeah, we may as well go ahead and actually just start talking about the stories in this movie and how they kind of intertwine. The first story that we see, if I recall, is the couple that are coming home after having some fun at the parade, and then the wife she hates Halloween for some reason. I don't know why you would hate Halloween. I mean,
for real,
what kind of person are you? But yeah, she starts taking down all of the Halloween decorations, and that, of course, includes extinguishing a jack-o'-lantern.
Maybe she was raised Mormon or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I know that there's some evangelical sects that don't really celebrate Halloween. They call it harvest celebration or whatever, But they'll still do like costume parties. But yeah, I went to a church that did that, and you couldn't have any like monster or horror type costumes. So I mean, one time I had to go as like a goddamn farmer or something like that, like something weird like that. So they're like cowboys and angels and like kids dressed up as biblical figures for Halloween.
You know what?
Like,
my mom didn't let us dress as anything scary. It wasn't a religious thing. She just didn't like it, so we never. But
yeah. Your mom doesn't really seem to be a very horror adjacent type of person.
No,
not like
not
us.
at all.
No.
But Yeah, I mean, that opening scene where, you get the wife that hates Halloween for some reason, and she puts out the jack-o'-lantern, right?
Yeah. And I love that there's that one little callback to Halloween 78 with the one kid with the mask is just sitting there pulling a Michael Myers, just staring and everything. And you think that he's going to like maybe factor into this, but then a car pulls up and then it's just a kid waiting for a ride.
Yeah.
So that's another good thing. Another good thing this movie is good at, is just kind of subverting things. Right, Robert?
Those fake outs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, lots of fake outs and red herrings in this movie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there definitely are.
But I love the kill that goes on with the wife. Like she's just attacked by Sam underneath like you don't even really see it happen. You just see the aftermath more or less. Like she's covered in a sheet, and then you see her have her throat slit, but she's under the sheet with Sam. And I love the gore effect of the husband finding her body and everything. Like he went inside thinking he was going to get some sexy time. Like he had that fucking nature. What was written on that tape that he was watching, the porno tape? It was
something nature,
something nature or nature show or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's porn. It's fucking porn, And he zonks out. He realizes his wife never came back. He walks outside, and she's one of the Halloween decorations. And she's got a big old Halloween sucker stuck in her mouth, and she's been pretty much dismembered and everything. And I have to say, I like how the gore effects, it's not too extreme, but it's still very bloody and very like gnarly, but it's not so much that it's like, really excessive.
Not too Tarantino,
Not too Tarantino, or we can go even further, like total Diodato. Cannibal Holocaust and shit.
The Pumpkinhead.
But that's an interesting opening scene. But honestly, the next story that happens is the one that's like my favorite because it stars Mr. Dylan Baker. And Dylan Baker...
Dr. Connors!
Yeah, you say Dr. Connors, but what I know him from is a little movie called Happiness. It's actually right here in my disturbing movie collection here. It's a movie by Todd Solondz that is gets into some pretty raw thematic material of the Kitty Diddler type. I mean, it has Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. It's seen as like one of the better movies of the 90s But yeah, he was the father who was also a pedo in that movie. So, but he has a way with playing really, really creepy characters, and in this movie, like he is immediately just immediately memorable, but also really, really funny. I love how hilarious he is. I mean, especially that first moment where we have the kid from Bad Santa like smashing all the jack-o'-lanterns, and he goes up there and he grabs like way too much candy. It's one of those like please take one situations. And the principal Steven, that's the name of the character. He's just like, that's not good for your diabetes. And then he proceeds to just sit there and talk about, nobody understands or recognizes Halloween traditions anymore. And then he poisons the kid, and he's like, you forgot about another tradition. Always check your candy.
Yep.
Yep. And yeah, the funny thing about the whole candy thing is that there's only one recorded instance of that ever happening. And it wasn't even technically Halloween candy that happened to. It was like one dude who killed his son by poisoning him with like a poison apple or something. And somehow that turned into checking your candy for like poison and everything. But I think the modern day equivalent now is that nonsense about supposedly people giving out like weed gummies to kids and everything, which of course that's not a thing.
Why would anybody waste good weed like that? I'm sorry.
Seriously, fuck them kids. Why are we going to give them the fucking good weed? If anything, hand those to the parents,
You know what? I'll tell you what. If you find drugs in your kids' candies, bring them to me. I will inspect them thoroughly.
Oh, yes. Expect all of them. It's
All
like,
of them.
ooh, this is good shit.
Bring them right to me. I would like to know.
Exactly. But yeah, the whole story with the principal, like he's a serial killer and everything, and he kills the bad Santa kid, brings him in, and then he has to deal with trick-or-treaters. And I think like one of the first times that we see Sam is actually in this in the trick-or-treating scene here, where we're also introduced to a couple of other characters that come into another story. And I think that's the first time that we actually see him, like properly.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, immediately you notice that for one, he's played by an actual kid. They had an actual kid play Sam, and you could definitely tell. I mean, he actually really acts like what a kid would
The dude from Bad Santa?
what a kid would do if they were not the dude from Bad Santa. I'm talking about Sam.
Oh, the
Like
other
he is actually he's actually played by a little kid, and he and you can tell. I mean, in his movements and his mannerisms, it's actually very believable.
yeah, definitely.
But he proceeds to give the kids the candies, and then you see in his kitchen, you see where he was poisoning the candies. He has all the candies and poisons out on his table, and then his kid comes home, and this kid is like both adorable and fucking annoying at the same time. But he also has the best line of the entire movie. This is when his dad is trying to bury the bad Santa kid, and then he's like, "Dad, I want to carve jack-o'-lanterns." And he's like, "No, go watch Charlie Brown." And then that kid just straight up says, Charlie Brown is an asshole. Straight up, it's like, like little Jimmy, go away. But it actually has another really cool fake out when you go into the basement and everything. Like he tells his son to go into the basement to carve a jack-o'-lantern, and the buildup is insinuating that he wants to kill his kid. I mean, you think that's going to happen, but up to the last second, it's a fake. It's
another fake out.
It turns out that he decapitated the bad Santa kid, and they're going to make a jack-o'-lantern out of that. And the little kid is like, "Always be sure to start with the eyes, Dad." And then you realize, oh, he's teaching him the family business. Oof.
Yeah.
But also you get a little bit of some more intertwining with the final story that comes up, because you have Mr. Krieg next door, and you actually see the part of his story play out. But whenever Steven is just like, "Yeah, screw you," whenever, because and of course Mr. Krieg is played by Brian Cox, who, by the way, is fucking amazing in this movie. Like Brian Cox is always great in everything that he's in. But yeah, it's like that right there is my favorite storyline throughout the entire movie, and that character also comes back later on in the movie as well.
Yeah.
But what's the next story?
The next
I believe it's
one, I think, is when we get introduced to the girls. Although their story kind of concludes later, the werewolf girls that end up eating Kurt Connors.
What's really cool about that is if you go all the way back to the beginning, there's a little I think that you had like a kid dragging some trick or treat candy or whatever, and they're walking down the sidewalk, and like you actually see the husband and wife, in the robot costume and everything. You actually see the girls going to the costume shop to get their costumes and everything.
Yeah, their paths cross. I see that a lot here. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like if you look in the background, you can totally see the other stories playing out through all these other stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the girls, apparently they're all here for this really elaborate Halloween parade and party and everything. And I find it interesting what they're dressed as. We have a Cinderella, a Snow White, a Little Bo Peep, and then we have Red Riding Hood, which is really interesting given that we later find out that they're werewolves. So
yeah.
It's like the whole fairy tale angle. And typically in a lot, I mean, there are more than a few fairy tales. The wolf was the main antagonist, so it's just kind of an interesting little play on kind of how old school Grimm fairy tales were kind of horrific in their own right.
Yeah, definitely. That is actually an interesting observation about that, because I mean, this movie, I think it makes use of a lot of different thematic elements that I think really kind of makes it stand out. Like, it's a very memorable film, actually. Like, and even though it's like telling, 4 or 5 different stories, so, kind of sometimes at a time a little bit and then out of order, you still have like a really like clear like memory of what happened throughout all of it. Because, I mean, after we're introduced to the girls, I believe, then we actually get into the high school bus massacre, although I might be a little bit out of order there.
Well, we're reintroduced to the 3 trick-or-treaters who are all gathering jack-o'-lanterns in order to go and basically supposedly pay their respects to the victims of the school bus massacre. And they go and they pick up Rhonda, who I'm going to say Rhonda is gangster. She is a fucking gangster, like all the way through and through. Like, I mean, unfortunately, they do use a anti-disabled slur to describe her, but then the girl's just like, no, she's an idiot savant. R-word style. Yeah, it's not particularly great, but that's the gist of their stories. Like, they're gathering like 8 pumpkins, and they want to go down to the quarry where the bus massacre happened, and that's where we actually get the full story of the bus massacre. And what I like about that is that the one girl in the angel costume, she's setting up that dramatic setup to tell the story, but then her friends just keep interrupting and basically tell the story, and she's like, guys, shut up, let me tell the story. So, and then they go and do the story about the bus driver who was paid to kill a bunch of differently abled kids. It's like, so yeah. It's like, and the one vampire kid, he's the one that immediately recognizes that something is wrong. He's like, wrong way. He counted all the exits, and he's like, wait, no, we're not going home. And then he's actually aware enough that he realizes what's happening, that something bad is happening.
That was fucked up. Robert, you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty sad, right?
It really is.
The whole town just gave up on their kids, and I mean, I guess that they were they violent? Did they say that for sure?
I don't think that they were violent. I think that they were just special needs kids for the most part.
They were literally just special needs kids, right?
Yeah.
No. They weren't like violently mentally ill or anything. They were just differently abled and whatnot. So,
yeah, that's kind of fucked up, because like even somebody like me as a kid, in that situation might have gotten lumped in. Like that's fucked up, man. Mm.
But that's what kind of makes the ending of that story with, like they play all of it is a prank on Rhonda. They specifically targeted Rhonda.
Right.
They dressed up like zombies and just absolutely scared the living shit out of her. And in the end, the actual kids that were killed, they are reanimated and they chase the kids. And Rhonda just, they're in a quarry. Rhonda goes up the elevator and just leaves them and just says bye-bye. And, like they said that she's kind of special needs in her own right. Like, I mean, possibly on the spectrum, maybe.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she's the one that ultimately leaves them to their doom. Basically gives them their just desserts.
Rhonda's cold as fuck.
She's cold. She is gangster. Total gangster.
Damn
I mean,
straight.
I absolutely love it. And then there's that moment where
There can only be one.
There can only be one, exactly. But what is cool is she still has her jack-o'-lantern completely lit and everything. And there's that moment where she gets to the top of the quarry where she sees Sam, and they kind of have a little knowing glance there. Kind of like they recognized each other a little bit, because, I mean, she was the one that actually knew all about Samhain and whatnot, and even like explained it to the little pirate kid.
Hey man, game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game, exactly. So along with the principal, she's one of my favorite characters out.
Bo,
of this
it was
entire
Nature
movie.
Special.
Nature Special. Oh, of course.
Yeah, I have the movie on
Nature
right now.
Special.
We just restarted it.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
we
yeah.
had to, you know.
Oh yeah, you know it. I'm watching right now. I've got the review that Hack the Movies did on Trick or Treat, and I actually recommend that. Hack the Movies is great. I mean, you should totally go watch them or listen to them. But yeah, after that we kind of start. We have a little segment where we're introduced to a masked killer who, as it turns out, is the principal. And he's kind of going around the parade being a vampire or something. It's like, and he actually kills a woman that he picks up, like, and just goes full on vampire on her, you know. But he's not a real vampire, of course. He's just actually doing some really hardcore play acting.
I thought he was a real vampire at first. Like, I was like, wait, what? Is he a real vampire?
Well, it's kind of weird that he turns out not to be a real vampire when, you know, the girls turned out to be real werewolves. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, right?
It's like it wouldn't have been out of character for this movie to have an actual honest to goodness vampire in this movie, and it's even funnier that it would be the principal Steven.
Yeah. That's kind of where, like, that was one of the first, like, real big twists. That and the fact that the girls were werewolves, all happening at once. And this is as the film is starting to get towards its conclusion. After this point, it's just another series of reveals.
But by the way, we should point out that Anna Paquin plays the Red Riding Hood girl.
Oh, yeah?
That's Anna Paquin. Yeah. And I really like her performance in this movie as well because, I mean, she totally plays the virginal girl, like, to a T. But then you get to to their party that they've been alluding to. Like, they invite all of these guys. They invite the clerk at the costume shop, and then the news crew. They invite all of them, and incidentally, there's that one baby, the one dude in the baby bib and everything. That's actually the dude that played the big dude in 13 Ghosts. Remember that, Robert?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in 13 Ghosts. He was one of the 13th ghosts. One of the 13 ghosts, actually.
Yeah,
so
that movie's crazy, dude. Damn.
Oh, that's a great movie. We should do that next Halloween, honestly. That'd be really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
This is the one night.
Don't forget your costume.
All sorts of things. Roam free.
The Halloween School Bus Massacre.
Shh, be quiet.
Why?
You'll bother the neighbors.
Okay.
Wait, there's another tradition. Always check your candy.
I hate Halloween.
And also, I mean, I don't know if you remember the little kid that was peeking in on the werewolf girls as they were changing. That's the same actor that plays Sam right there. Yeah. We get to their party, and at first it looks like it's just a typical bonfire. But then we have a body fall out of the woods, and it turns out that Anna Paquin, she was attacked by Principal Stevens in his vampire mode, and basically fought him off and injured him and brought him to as a sacrificial lamb for the werewolf girls. And I want to say, this is actually one of the coolest takes on werewolf transformations that I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh yeah.
Like the idea that they're just literally ripping off their skin and everything. Like, I don't think that's really been done before.
Well, I mean, the Slitheen did it at Doctor Who first, to be fair, so...
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah, that was 2005.
Well, who cares about Doctor Who? Who cares about Doctor Who? We're not talking about Doctor Who.
They look kind of like an American Werewolf in London or something. Or Paris.
It is a cool effect, though. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, honestly, American Werewolf in London, that's the top werewolf transformations. Never been done better, in my opinion, like ever.
Yeah. Hey, remember Fright Night 2, the original? Damn. The Werewolf James was pretty sick, too.
Yeah. Yeah, also in The Howling. The Howling had some pretty okay transformations
the fucking Howling. Yeah, the original one. Oh, man.
Yeah, I have that movie. I have that movie somewhere around here. Maybe I got to pull it out and watch it. That'd be a good Halloween movie.
Transformation on that shit's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, they rip off their skin and everything. Like, it's both kind of sensual, but also very... really creepy and everything. And they're doing it all to Marilyn Manson's version of Sweet Dreams Are Made of These.
Yes.
So it leads to what I think, I would say arguably is like the centerpiece of the movie, is that werewolf scene. Because the practical effects on the werewolves are also really, really top notch as well.
Yeah, no, it really is. That the whole transformation and everything looks great. I will say it definitely looks a lot better than the Slitheen transformation in Doctor Who.
Whatever you say, Ash. Whatever you say. But then from there, like you see Sam there. Sam's watching all this go down as well. So he's just like, yes, perfect Halloween. But then we get to the penultimate story, and that's the story of Mr. Krieg, the old man who just doesn't fucking cater to any of this Halloween bullshit himself.
Okay, so get this. I actually figured out who he was, right, Robert?
Mr. Connors. Or what?
No, the Mr. Krieg.
Mr. Krieg?
Yeah, the old man.
Yeah.
We were watching it, and didn't I tell you? I was like, he's the bus driver, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I'd seen it. You hadn't seen it.
I mean, I guess that it is kind of easy to...
It was kind of predictable in retrospect, but I felt cool.
When you actually get to it, it actually really makes sense. It ties everything together kind of thematically well and whatnot. But the actual Sam's actual assault on Mr. Krieg is probably the one of the more bloody moments in the movie. But I mean, Krieg puts up a hell of a fight against Sam. I mean, Sam just finds his way into his house. Then you have that one creepy moment where he pulls what was the movie that had like people walking on the ceiling and everything? Like, I can't remember. I think it was a vampire movie or something. But yeah, Sam just is climbing up on the ceiling and then just drops right on top of him. And you also see Mr. Krieg's moment where he's talking. There's a moment in the principal's story where he sees Mr. Krieg, and Mr. Krieg is just like, "What are you doing out there?" It's like,
right.
It smells terrible. Are you what are you getting rid of bodies?
And you see briefly in the window, well, as Mr. Wilkinson or Dr. Connors is coming in back into his home, he's like, "Well, Wilkins," and he's screaming out to him, and
Wilkins,
like clearly he's in distress. And then you actually see something grab him and shove him against, out of view, and that pays off later because you see Sam show up in his home, and you're like, okay, now we're getting this side of the story, because you kind of shelved that, and you're like, okay, we're gonna come back to that probably, and then it does. This movie does that a lot.
But what I really, really like about it is that it's also kind of evocative of Gage from Pet Sematary a little bit. You know, whenever he goes wrong and he like attacks Fred Gwynn, like there's that moment where he slices the Achilles. He slices the Achilles heel. That's total Pet Sematary.
Scalpel. Yeah.
Yeah. But he had a razor blade and a candy
bar, dude.
That's what he had. Yeah, a razor blade and a candy bar. But also, that's what's really cool about that moment is that's where we see the horror come into full effect. Like Sam kills the dog and uses the blood to write "trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat" all over the place, and then you have the jack-o'-lantern just barrel out flames and everything. And this is something that I want to get into about Krieg and his gun. Okay, so yeah, he makes it clear that he has an NRA membership and that he has guns and everything. So he has a double barrel shotgun. Now typically a double barrel shotgun, it has 2 chambers. You put 2 shells in there, and then they're usually hammer fire. They have two hammers, and you can either use one or you can shoot both of them. There's at least two moments in this scene where he cocks it as if it's a pump gauge. You hear that's what you hear. you hear him fucking cock a fucking pump action. I'm like, well, wait a second. What the fuck? That's a fucking that's a double barrel shotgun.
Those are like single loaded shotgun shells.
Exactly. Yeah. You load 2 of them, you shoot them, and then they're usually breakaway, you open them up and it expels the shells, and you can put 2 more in there. But there's no pump action with a double barrel. It's
just a trigger, or it's just a hammer, like you said.
Yeah. It's hammer fired and everything. So that right there kind of rankled my it rankled my gun ownership a little bit. I'm just like, I mean, I've fired shotguns before. It's like, no, that's not how that works at all. So that's one tiny little oversight that this movie kind of goes over, you know. But what I also like is that when he actually finally shoots Sam, all that comes out is pumpkin guts. That's the best. There's like
pumpkin guts come out.
Yeah.
Because he's like this like pumpkin like skull creature. This is the scene where you actually also get to see what Sam looks like under the mask. And he looks fucking cool under the mask too. Just this whole like pumpkin skeleton thing, and yeah, as he gets shotgun wounds, pumpkin seeds and pumpkin guts fall out. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, and then we kind of get a cool little callback to Evil Dead 2 with the severed hand. The severed hand starts calling his he starts crawling his way back to Sam, and then reattaches itself to Sam's arm and everything.
Oh man!
And then that's where we lead to the penultimate moment where Krieg is down. Like Sam has just got back up. He's coming at him with a sharpened. He takes a bite out of the sucker and everything. Like and Krieg grabs a liquor bottle and breaks him, and he's just like, "Come on!" He's like ready to just go, and then he goes to take the killing stroke, but instead of actually killing Krieg, he just takes the chocolate bar, sniffs it, and he eats it, and then he's just like, "All right, then." He moves along, and he leaves, and then Krieg but what's cool about that is, I mean, he was just like. In a way, he was just like, all right, old man, you win this one, but yeah, you're going to have to deal with the aftermath here. Because by this point, Krieg is like badly injured.
Yeah, I like how he actually starts acting nice to the kids after he gets humbled.
He gets it's a very humbling moment for him. But one of the thematic things about this movie is that there's no second chances for anybody here. Nobody gets a second chance here. You think that Krieg is going to get a second chance and survive, but no, that's not so, because the kids that he killed, this is when you find out that he's the bus driver that was paid to murder the children in the school bus massacre. They come back and they come to his door and they're just like, trick or treat. And then the movie ends and you get that cool comic book cut where I mean, we don't really see Mr. Krieg's fate at the hands of these kids, but you can kind of imagine, just like the 3 or 4 kids that tricked Rhonda. You don't see them get attacked by the zombie kids, but you can only imagine how raw and how gross it is.
Yeah. It's and you know what? I guess I kind of see that as Sam not necessarily sparing Mr. Krieg, but rather like, this is who you have to deal with. They owe you this, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Mr. Krieg's fate was sealed, and Sam knew that, and Sam didn't get in the way of those kids' vengeance. Why they picked this Halloween night of all nights, I don't know. But all these sequence of events happened on this one night, and it's kind of cool. It's like these 5 different stories all across one night.
Yeah, well, I think when it comes to the kids, the zombie kids coming to his doorstep, I think they're specifically been reanimated by the trick-or-treaters. They were the ones that kind of summoned them. So it's like, I mean, they're already summoned. They've already been reanimated, so they may as well just go and take care of some unfinished business, more or less. So
that's true. You're right. So the kids woke the spirits up, and Sam's just like, damn, what a crazy sequence of events. He probably does this every Halloween, actually. There's probably all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, he's pretty much the Halloween Grim Reaper. Right? Shit. Coming to collect.
Oh, yes, coming to collect. He's like a Grim Reaper. Actually, I think that his actual unmasked visage, I think it actually kind of looks a lot like Pumpkinhead, right?
So yeah, Dr. Connors.
Dr. Connors.
Brilliant but lazy.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, you have to think that Sam is getting up to some crazy shit every Halloween night, throughout history, especially the history of this town. And it makes me wonder, is Sam just kind of exclusive to this one town? Is he the spirit of Halloween just for that particular area? Or is there multiple Sams all around the world or all around the United States, as it were, that enforces the old traditions of Halloween? I mean, we don't really know. But I think that would be interesting if they made a sequel, instead of focusing on the same town, maybe go to another town over or whatnot and see what Sam gets up to there. Because I have heard a lot about a sequel. A sequel has been kind of teased for at least the last 10 years or so. But I mean, I think that they're going to start production on it very soon. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can get another Trick or Treat to talk about very soon. But let's talk about the actual cinematography and the set design of this movie. This is some of the most creative encapsulations of everything that Halloween is ever committed to film, and a lot of that is really because of the way it's shot, the way that all the sets are staged, and also even the color grading. It just really evokes that time of the year, and especially evokes Halloween. It literally looks like a Halloween movie, if you know what I mean. It looks Halloween as fuck.
Yeah, right?
But I mean, Robert, what do you think about the way this movie was shot? I love how, there's these really, really just lots of moving camera shots and everything. There's always something moving in this movie, right?
Yeah, that's true. In one motion, right?
Yeah.
Really. But the decorations, the set designs, everything looks legit. I don't know, really. And what really makes it pop is that comic book thing that they did, especially for the Warriors. That's the only thing I've seen it in. But yeah, I mean,
it really kind of evokes Creepshow, actually. Because Creepshow had that comic book motif, so...
Yeah, it makes it better. I'm what else had that? Kablam had that, right?
Kablam. Oh my God, I can't believe you just brought up Kablam.
Kablam had that.
That's something I haven't heard in ages. Holy shit. But I also love how all the Halloween decorations are done in this movie. Like for instance, Rhonda's house, like you see all of those jack-o'-lanterns that are out there. And what's interesting is later on in Mr. Krieg's segment, you kind of get the same thing when Sam starts to attack him. It kind of makes you wonder if there's a real connection between Rhonda and Sam somehow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. I mean, I think we've spoken about pretty much everything we like about this movie. Like I said, the cinematography is just so evocative. I mean, I love how warm it is, and I love how, like, it's always kind of moving. It's never completely static, and it also evokes a lot of old school horror tropes as well. So, I guess. What do y'all think about this movie? What are our final thoughts on Trick or Treat?
Yeah, actually, I would recommend this movie to anybody around this time of year, actually. And so would Nostalgia Critic, right? Oh, yeah.
Seriously, Nostalgia Critic did another review right around the time that we did.
Yeah.
How many times has that happened now?
I don't know.
I think me and him are like channeling something, you know?
Yeah, it's happened a few times, right? It's like, Doug, are you watching us or something, buddy? It's like, are you keeping tabs on us?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's getting into my mind. I don't know.
Oh, he totally is. Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's too coincidence. It's funny.
Yeah, it's very coincidental. Happy coincidence, I guess you could say. But yeah, what about you, Ash? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's a movie that really does stick with you. I think Nostalgia Critic actually said something similar to that. And again, like I really feel like it evokes the spirit of Halloween. It evokes the traditions and you know, it's very, very, very much a Halloween film. I think it should become a part of anyone's regular rotation, and it's a lot of fun. I loved like kind of just watching all of these stories just kind of coalesce. And I mean, yeah, it's a little predictable, I think, but I think that actually in a way works to its benefit. It makes the audience feel a little bit smarter because you know, just to kind of see how all of these things all tied together. And then even then, there were still plenty of surprises, things that I wasn't expecting, a lot of cool twists, especially, you know, as the movie starts winding down. The effects are excellent, really, really excellent use of practical effects. Everything down to the cinematography, the way it was shot. Like you said, Bo, it just really speaks Halloween. It's an excellent movie, and yeah, you should go check it out this Halloween or this spooky season.
Absolutely. And I think that this is quite possibly one of the most rewatchable movies I've ever seen. It's watchable and it's infinitely rewatchable. Yes. I mean, it's because, you know, the stories are easy enough to follow, but they create a more overarching storyline that's compelling to watch, really. And if you really, really look closely, and if you look in the background, I mean, you can kind of see all the different characters from these stories just kind of in the background and doing their own story and everything. And it just all just kind of comes together in the end, and it leads to an anthology movie that I think is probably greater than the sum of its parts. You know, it exudes, like you said, it exudes Halloween in every single frame. You know, like I said, the cinematography is just really, really brilliant. You know, and its subversion of horror and Halloween tropes. It's what makes it a very compelling script, you know? I mean, this shows that if you have a good script and you build upon that script, you can make something really, really unique that stands the test of time and becomes something that's just essential to so many people. I mean, this is pretty much a straight-up cult classic now. I couldn't even really find this movie on DVD. I actually went out into San Antonio looking for it, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Huh.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, and yeah, it makes sense. I mean, this is definitely a movie that anybody who is into horror or who loves Halloween, you should have this in your collection, and you should definitely watch this every year. I mean, I think next year I'm definitely going to rent it, or if by that time, hopefully I'll find a copy and I can buy it. And I will definitely watch it next Halloween. I mean, it's just something that you do. I think that it's even more essential than John Carpenter's Halloween a little bit. Although I will say Halloween 3 is probably the next movie that's probably closest to the feel of this movie, more or less. It's closest to like actually capturing what Halloween as a holiday is about.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah, Season of the Witch. It's like that's another like essential Halloween movie as far as I'm concerned, other than of course the original 78 Halloween. But this movie has more Halloween than Halloween, if you know what I mean.
You're right. Like the first Halloween barely had like 2 pumpkins in it.
Yeah,
Barely
barely had
like
a couple of pumpkins.
Field of them.
Yeah, like twice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they weren't even real jack-o'-lanterns. They had to paint something to make them look like pumpkins.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was probably a lot easier logistically to just fabricate fake pumpkins than using real pumpkins. But I don't know. It would be pretty cool if there was like an actual dedicated jack-o'-lantern carver for this movie.
They even have them like out of styrofoam nowadays, you know? Like,
oh, yeah. You can get styrofoam Halloween decorations for jack-o'-lanterns. But as far as I'm concerned, that's not a real jack-o'-lantern. And if you try to pull that shit, Sam will totally raid your house and will fuck your shit up. But yeah, I really like this movie. It's really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I guess that just about concludes our review / analysis of Trick or Treat, our second episode of the spooky season. And if you enjoyed that, we are going to be releasing our Halloween special and our Halloween edition of the Director's Cut very soon. We actually already have those recorded, so we'll definitely have those out by Halloween special. And then, Bo, you and Robert did what again on the Director's Cut? Nail Gun.
We did Nail Gun Massacre.
Nail Gun Massacre, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Nail Gun Massacre. Exactly.
That should be a good one too. So stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. Stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah. I wish we could find more movies like that. Like really.
Well, that's what Tubi is for, right?
But yeah, we've got a lot more content planned for the rest of the year and the rest of season 7. I'm really excited about a lot of the movies coming up this season. And if you want to check us out on social media, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find Collateral Cinema wherever you get your podcasts. And we do have a Patreon as well. So feel free to donate any amount of money to get access to our exclusive full-length movie commentaries. Check us out also on Good Pods.
Yes, vote for us there on Good Pods. Follow us and help us rise the ranks of the film and TV podcast list that they have there. And we also do have a Buy Me a Coffee. I mean, if you just want to give us money without any real content or anything, you just want to help us out, it's like we have one of those as well.
Yeah, give me money because I don't have a day job anymore. So these two guys have day jobs. So, just leave some money, $5, $2. Well, whatever you can do,
Damn straight. But yeah, I guess that really is everything for tonight. That being said, I've been Ashley Chancellor.
I've been Bo Salwayne Maddox.
I've been Robert Ortegon.
And this was Collateral Cinema. Have a happy Halloween, folks. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Yep, happy Halloween, y'all. Laters.
Happy Halloween, everybody.